presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are MC.
Royals baseball from New York, where the ball was flying last night. 6 home runs were hit, 5 by the Yankees as they take game 1, 6-3. And Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and Jeff Montgomery will join us in just a moment. The Royals are struggling right now. They have dropped below 500, and right now the chief culprit is what was the biggest concern going into the season, and that's starting pitching.
Yeah, first 2 weeks it looked pretty good. We're thinking, wow, are we going to get this from these guys most of the season? Well, didn't turn out that way. Second and third time around, it hasn't been pretty. The record, not good. The earned run average, not good. Walks allowed, sorry about the bad news, folks, but you're not going to win games if you don't get good starting pitching. Let's just hope it improves, and I'm sure the masterminds behind it all will find a solution.
It's Chris Medlin who gets the ball tonight, and Medlin has lost his last 3 starts. However, there's some good news with him pitching here at Yankee Stadium. For whatever reason, as a member of the Royals, and specifically this year, he has pitched much better on the road than he has at home. Let's go down to the field. Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Monty, what is Chris Medlin doing when he's right?
Well, I think the thing I look for Chris Medlin is a really crisp, sharp fastball with good life, especially good finishing life on that fastball, able to pitch in very effectively to lefties. He pitches away to the righties well. And then when he gets the established fastball that he's commanding very well on the inside, outside part of the plate, then he's able to throw a really good curveball. The key for him on his curveball, we want to see that curveball finished out of the strike zone below those bats, and when he's on, that's what I see the best from Chris Medlin. So hopefully we see a lot of that tonight. Guys, back up to you.
Without a doubt, Monty, but that first inning, he's had first inning problems, Rhino. He's got to find a way to get through 1, 2, 3. Don't allow the opponents any runs, and that will allow the defense to not get on their heels and feel like they got to come from behind all the time.
Yeah, and the one game the Royals have won on this road trip, they were the team scoring in the first inning. And while the Royals didn't have a big game on offense last night, a lot of the guys who were struggling earlier in the season are starting to come around, especially Alex Gordon, who's hit in 5 straight. He homered in last night's game. It's game 2 between the Royals and the Yankees, and the first pitch is coming up next.
hot right now to have a cold game. The pitcher's on the mound, throwing 90 miles an hour. I see the clouds move in, looks like scary showers. Must stay focused, I'm trying to knock it out the ball. The field lights came on, cause it's getting dark. I feel my heartbeat, adrenaline pumping. The crowd jumping out the seats, cause they see me coming.
And Salvador Perez, our Honda most trusted player of the game. Why? Well, because we know how great he is, but also it is his birthday. Happy 26th birthday to Salvador Perez, the World Series MVP, 3-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Gloves. And we had a special correspondent in the clubhouse today that wanted to wish him a happy birthday.
Eric Hosmer reporting live. We're going to do a little ambush on Salvi like he does to everybody else and wish him a happy birthday real quick. Come on, follow me. He's ordering bats right now, but we're going to interrupt him. No. We don't have time for bats. Come up, Bubba. Everybody want to say happy birthday to you back home. You know how you always come up on the mic and go like that? So what do you want to say? Everybody say happy birthday. Send a message.
I want to say thank you to everybody in Kansas City and the world. And thank you for all the bendiciones. Muchas gracias. Me muy contento. Papo, traduce.
So I sat next to him on the bus today. Snapchat, Instagram, everything blowing up. This guy popular, man. Happy birthday, Nino. We love you.
Pablo.
You're the man, Bobby.
Thank you.
A lot of presents that he was opening on social media all day long. Just walked by ready to go. And guys, he wasn't the only one to get that birthday greeting in the clubhouse. Lorenzo Cain turned the tables on him with an interview, and we'll bring you that later in the game.
Well, good for Lorenzo to be able to turn the tables on Salvador Perez.
Yeah, I can't wait.
He's been a friendly stalker.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, though. And you know, especially Salvi, he ambushes all these other guys on their birthday. About time they get him.
Alcides Escobar is getting ready to face Masahiro Tanaka. The Royals and this lineup will be facing Tanaka for the first time. It's the same starting lineup as last night's game. The Royals had 3 runs on 10 hits last night. They got home runs from Alex Gordon and from Eric Hosmer. So here he is, Masahiro Tanaka, 27 years old. He had 99 wins in Japan, and now here in his 3rd season in the United States, 26-12 overall. Outstanding numbers at the beginning of this year.
That's because he's good. Highly intelligent starting pitcher. He makes adjustment as the game goes on. Not overpowering, 87-91 with his fastball. He's a sinker down. He likes to cut the fastball inside the lefties and away to righties. He's got a nice slider, 83-86. Curveball, 83-86, and his special pitch is his split finger. That's how he gets hitters out.
Escobar after the first pitch, and that's a base hit into right field. Escobar has been muscling up on that first pitch of the game, and this time he took a nice easy stroke the other way.
Right, and you know, this guy rarely elevates. So for Esky to pick out that first one that was elevated, that's good. This guy keeps everything down, rarely leaves it up, and the first pitch of the game was, and good for Esky to shorten it up and get that knock.
So man on for Lorenzo Cain. He's after the first pitch and pulls it foul. Lorenzo has hit safely in 10 of his last 11 games and has added 56 points to his average along the way.
Sure has, but that's definitely what he did not want to do on his first pitch. You're going to see a lot of this. Hopefully not Royals hitting it off themselves, but a lot of guys will be topping the ball. He's a sinker ball, split finger, all that stuff stays down. He's a ground ball pitcher. Going to hit it, but don't hit it at him. Find holes out there.
That is foul, but a good swing by Cain. Down in the count, 0-2.
He's very quick home when it comes to holding a base runner on. He's got quick feet, and he'll vary his hold times. He's a very smart pitcher that makes adjustments on the fly.
Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. All the talk about the Royals getting off to a good start on the mound. Tanaka has been doing it all year. The first hitter of any inning is hitting under 100, and he's very tough first time through the order. So he is not typically one of those guys. If you're going to get him, you better get him early. There's the slider. Really doesn't have much break to it at all.
No, it's like a little cutter. Doesn't use his curveball a whole lot, and when he does, he likes to backdoor it to left-handed hitters. Just a small little cutter. Lorenzo has seen a lot of that, and he'll throw that to righties away. Now, those numbers that we showed you about his success he's had, you know, hitters don't want to see that. They just want to go out there and make him get that ball up and just beat him and compete against this guy.
Outside to Eric Hosmer, who walked and homered last night, giving him 6 home runs, second best on the team, and his 16 driven in is best on the team.
Tanaka has given up 2 home runs, 1 to each side of the plate, so you can get him, but he rarely makes mistakes above the belt.
Slider over the outside, 1-1.
Talking with Dale Swaim, the Royals' great hitting coach, before the game, I said, Dale, man, what are you going to do against this guy? Look him up, try to get that pitch up. He goes, Hut, you know, we can almost sit on off-speed pitches because he throws a lot of them. There's not a lot of heavy break to him, but there's a lot of change of speeds.
Hosmer is now 3rd in the league in hitting at .336. Gregorius, diving play, no chance for a double play. 2 down.
Hey, good swing. That's exactly how you want to approach Tanaka if you're a left-handed hitter. That's in the middle of the plate. He didn't try to pull it out of the yard. He's using the big part of the field there. That's a nice swing.
He's in the game. 3 batters into the game, he's got a dirty uniform.
Yeah, and he's not happy about getting his glove wet. Now that infield dirt is really wet this time of night, and some players like it and some don't. Didi didn't like getting his leather all muddy. Doesn't mind his uniform, but man, don't mess with my glove.
Outside to Kendrys Morales. He's the only Royal who has seen Masahiro Tanaka. He has 3 at-bats. He is 0 for 3. One and one. Gregorius's predecessor, Derek Jeter, loved a wet infield. So that might be something he inherited with the position.
It's possible, although, you know, you can get in with a ground screw.
Back to Tanaka. So his first pitch results in a single, but Escobar never does get to second base as Tanaka gets the next 3. The new Yankee Stadium opened in 2009. Yankees won the World Series that year. They come into tonight at 12-18. They have won 3 of 4, but over a longer stretch they have lost 8 of their last 12 games and had been struggling on offense. But we didn't see that last night as the Yankees hit 5 home runs, and all of those home runs came in the first 3 innings. And now going up against Chris Medlin, who is making his 6th start of the year. And as Hud told you at the top of the broadcast, he's had some difficulty in the first inning.
Yeah, that ERA, he's got to get that thing going south, man. He's got to get that back to where it's respectable. You know, the strikeouts he's not worried about. He pitches to contact at times. Fly ball pitcher though. All of his 3 pitches move down for the most part if they're on. But he's got to really command down just like that. He's got to stay down there and don't elevate anything because he's not overpowering. He'll top out at 93. Quick worker. Important for him to get off to a good start.
That'll be out of play off the bat of Brett Gardner, who hit one of the 5 home runs last night. Now Medlin, I'm sure, was not pointing any fingers after his last start on Wednesday at Washington, but if you remember, the Royals made 3 errors in that top of the first inning, including against the first 2 hitters of the game. Big breaking ball stays high. Now Medlin also allowed 4 hits and 3 doubles in that first inning, but it could have very easily been 2 outs and nobody on right away.
Yeah, that's going to throw any starter off. That's what he wants right there.
Escobar makes a play on Gardner, 1 down. Here are the Royals defensively, presented by Ford. Same alignment as last night. Gordon, Kane, Dyson in the outfield. Cuthbert and Escobar on the left side. Infante, Hosmer on the right side, and the birthday boy Salvador Perez is behind the plate. This is Starlin Castro. Bothered a bit by a little oblique strain. He was not in the lineup last night. Ronald Torreyes was at second. So here's Castro in his first year with the Yankees after coming over in a trade with the Cubs. Base hit left field. Right before that pitch was thrown, and Hud has pointed this out many times, Salvador Perez using his glove to alert the left side of the infield that a ball was probably coming in their direction, but Castro got it in between Cuthbert and Escobar.
He's been one of the most productive hitters. Salvi, he's taking a peek. He knows what sign he's given down, so he's going to say, all right, heads up over there. Hitter can't see it, and they can't relay that from the bench that quickly to the hitter. What's amazing about Castro is that he's in his 6th season and he's only 26 years old. Wow.
Now a couple of former teammates, and not just teammates. Brian McCann used to catch Chris Medlin. They played parts of 5 seasons together with the Braves. McCann hit one of the 5 home runs for the Yankees last night. His home run was in the first inning. And maybe that was the only Yankee Stadium home run. Lorenzo Cain came very close to bringing it back, jumping up against the wall. He would have had more room to work with at Kauffman Stadium. Breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
McCann is a lane ball candidate. He's grounded into 5 already this year. And this is what Medlin would love. 1 pitch, 2 outs. If you can get him to pull it on the ground or any of the spots, the infield of the Royals is all spread out in the middle.
Loop to center field. And that's down in front of Kane. Castro stops at second base. So round one. And the bragging rights goes to Brian McCann.
Yeah, Medlin up with a curveball. He's able to jam it. That's an easy pitch for a hitter to see. That ball's belt high, right over the middle.
So 2 on and 1 out to Carlos Beltran. He hit 2 home runs. Home runs in his first 2 at bats in the second and third innings. So he has 6 home runs already this year, and now 398 in his career. Over the inside for a strike. Here's our Toyota League leaders for tonight. All-time home run leaders, numbers 54 through 58. And 2 of them are here tonight. Carlos Beltran and Mark Teixeira, who is not in the starting lineup. Andres Galarraga and Al Kaline finish at 399.
How about the big cat? Wow. That's a tough. You know, you want to end your career if you can on a round number. Good round number, especially 400. I remember Galarraga finished his career with the Angels. Socia was playing him the last few games of the season just so he could get a chance to hit that homer. Man, people were just begging for him to hit a homer, and he couldn't do it. Last night, Beltran got a hold of that one, put it way up in there. And you notice where these pitches are. These are balls that anybody can hit, really, at this level. They're going to hit them. You got to really keep that ball down by the knees and make them lift it, especially right here, so he can hit it at somebody in the infield and roll them up a pair.
No swing. Third base umpire Ted Barrett. 3 balls and 1 strike. Good fastball in on him. 3-2. This is Beltran's last year with the Yankees. Remember, the Royals really wanted Carlos Beltran. They made a very strong push for him to join the Royals in the 2014 season. But he decided to come back to New York. He has spent a large chunk of his career with the Mets. Base hit right field. Castro will be held. And with 1 out, the Yankees have the bases loaded.
Where was that located? Up. Belt. He's going to have to keep it down by the knees if he wants to have any success and get out of this inning. Good thing that Beltran didn't get underneath that.
So Dustin Ackley, the bases loaded and 1 down. Center field, well hit. Deep enough for a run. Kane plays it to second base. Castro comes down the line, and the Yankees lead 1-0. McCann goes to third.
Dave Island was telling me before the game that the adjustments they're making is they want him to stay on top of the ball. He's been pushing the ball. There's another one that's up, and that's exactly what Ackley was looking for, a sac fly or better, and he got it. He had been pushing up underneath the baseball, and that's leaving the ball elevated. Dave said we're trying to get him on top and drive down through it and create a little angle if he can, right where Salvi's glove is.
Fouled away by Hicks. Another small crowd here at Yankee Stadium. The announced crowd last night was 41,243. I don't think so. Hicks homered last night. Hit it to right field. Tapped out in front of the plate, and Salvador Perez throws him out. So the Yankees get one and only one on 3 hits. They strand 2 and take a 1-0 lead into the second inning. New York, a little bit on the cool side. 59 degrees at first pitch. A lot less wind compared to last night. At 6 miles an hour. It was about 16 to 20 at first pitch in last night's game.
Look at that new Freedom Tower. That's beautiful.
Alex Gordon leads off against Tanaka. And well hit into left center field. Alex has hit in 7 straight games and continues with this surge to hit the ball up the middle into the opposite field. So he's at second base with nobody out.
Alex with his 4th double on the season. First pitch. Way to stay inside of that ball. Man, was that nice. He's locked in. He was ready. Short, compact. Look at that front step. That front step's not going too far. It's all about that front step.
A week ago, he hits that on the ground to the second baseman.
Yeah, he pulls it. He rolls over it with a long swing. He wraps it, casts that top hand, but now he's keeping his hands inside nicely, and he's in a nice little groove. Hopefully he'll stay there for a couple of weeks.
Slider for a strike to Salvador Perez.
Tanaka's going to give you something good to hit. He doesn't walk a whole lot of guys now. He just had 7 and 39 1/3 coming in.
Grounded foul, no balls, 2 strikes. It's early, and it's only 1-0. And yet the next team that scores 3 against Tanaka this year will be the first team. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard, Tanaka tied with 5 other pitchers, going all 6 starts, allowing 2 earned runs or less. Jose Quintana of the White Sox, all 7 of his starts, he's allowed 2 earned runs or less. Not going to be deep enough, especially with Hicks's arm. So Alex stays put on a fly ball to center field, 1 down. Chicago White Sox got a grand slam in extra innings last night in Texas, and they are 23-10. They have a 6-game lead over the Indians and a 7-game lead over the Royals. Here's Omar Infante with one down. Omar had a 2-hit game last night. Slider in for strike one.
Start looking for that first pitch. He's giving up a 4.35 average on first pitches now. Tanaka. That was a good one there. You mentioned the arms. Aaron Hicks, cannon in center field. He's got 2 outfield assists. Gardner has 1 in left. Most likely base hit to left field should be able to score Alex. Better off trying to stay inside of this baseball because it's sinking and sliders away.
Broken bat, and Gardner comes up in left field. So Alex is at second base with 2 down. Here are the Yankees defensively tonight. Yankees did not have a good year last year. They were 27th out of 30 teams in defensive runs saved, and they are 24th out of 30 teams this year at -15.
It's the young rookie Gamble getting his start in right field.
Got his first big league hit last night.
Yeah, he did. He's all excited.
So now the Royals need a hit with 2 down to get Gordon to the plate. Chesler Cuthbert. He takes down and in.
Earlier in the season, Salvador Perez was going to right field a lot, and in order to get Alex the leadoff double to third base, you know, he's got to move him over there. I mean, he tried with the ball in center, but the first pitch he swung at Salvi, he hooked it down to third base. You don't want to do that. The Royals have got to play fundamental baseball.
Well, and you pointed out too, he's allowed 2 home runs. I mean, so this is a guy that's not allowing a lot of home runs. The numbers will tell you a little about what you can and can't do against him.
Yeah, but all Salvi told me today he wanted for his birthday was a win. Got to start playing situational baseball.
Down and away, 2-0 on Cuthbert. Got a chance to ask Chesler today. I said, so what does 101 miles an hour look like? And boy, his eyes got as big as the moon. He said, man, it's fast. But then he got a serious look on his face. He said, I'd like to face him again, though.
Love that.
Hit high and deep into the left field corner.
Get there.
Chesler Cuthbert.
Yeah.
2-run home run.
Oh, he got him. Way to get him elevated. Huh?
That's his second major league home run. He homered against the Tigers last year. And the Royals take a 2-1 lead in the second inning. So much about you're not going to hit a home run against Tanaka.
Right.
That's only the 3rd home run he's given up in 41 innings.
That smile, this kid, he's full of joy. That's a beauty. And what's so good about hitting a home run here is they throw the ball back. So he'll get it.
Although that guy, we had a shot of him. He had the ball. He looked like he was reaching into his back pocket.
So
was he doing the old Wrigley Field bleacher trick?
Ah.
Castro over to first base in time to get Gerard Dyson. Chesler Cuthbert takes Masahiro Tanaka deep.
Oh, nice. Down the middle. He caught it. Gardner looked up and it's gone. Big lift there for Medley.
Well, what does he do? Cuthbert hits his second major league home run, and now Chris Medlin has a 2-1 lead after Medlin allowed a sacrifice fly to Dustin Ackley in the bottom of the first. He throws low to Didi Gregorius. Gregorius was 0 for 4 last night, batting in the number 7 spot where he hits tonight. 2 balls and no strikes. The first 2 pitches from Medlin are down, out of the strike zone, but down. 2-1.
That's a big boost for him, that 2-run homer Cuthbert hit. He's saying, all right, fellas, let's go. We're in the game. I'm going to hold him right here.
See how quickly Dyson can get it back to the infield. Gregorius is going to run on him. Dyson's throw, it took a high hop. It was a good throw. It was a strong throw. But that ball hit the grass and it went straight up into the air instead of skipping to Escobar.
Yeah, if it hits that wet dirt, it's going to skip in there nicely. It would have been close. But Didi, he's running on the way, all the way out of the box, man. One hopper. Yep. Grass held it up.
That'll bring up Chase Headley. Headley is batting .171. He has 2 RBIs. 2 RBIs in 82 at bats.
It's not very productive for anybody out there, let alone the third baseman where they're expecting production.
That is RBI number 3. And the Yankees have 2 runs on 5 hits in 1+ inning against Chris Medlin.
Hey, middle of the plate's not working. You got to try some angles, try some edges, stay on the corners. Now you got to give some credit to the Yankees. They're not missing those pitches. I mean, they're not hitting it at them. There's no bad luck going on. They're finding the holes.
Ben Gamel in the 8th inning last night. He singled against Dylan G for his first big league hit. 10th round pick 6 years ago. Back to Medlin. Good feed to Escobar. Double play. 1-6-3.
That'll help. Escobar saying, hey, he's telling Hosmer. He's looking across the diamond saying, did you like that? That was a strike right to you.
So Brett Gardner's second at bat. Medlin got him in a pop out to short in the first inning. One and one.
Staying on top and driving down through the lower part of the strike zone. Even if it's not over the middle, you're going to hit it on the ground. Good spot.
Changeup. 2-2 on Gardner. This is Gardner's 12th year in the Yankees organization. He and Ben Gamel are the only two in the lineup tonight that came through the Yankees organization. He was an all-star last year, so he was on Ned Yost's roster for the game in Cincinnati. And that's a walk. Gardner comes back from 1 ball and 2 strikes, and that's Medlin's first walk. Come out to Kauffman Stadium this Saturday and Sunday for Major League Baseball's first annual Play Ball Weekend, proudly supported by Chevrolet and Scotts. MLB celebrates all forms of youth baseball and softball, from organized league games to simply playing catch. So be part of something great. Let's play ball. Gardner is a threat to go. He has stolen 5 so far this year and thrown out only once. And a strike. 0-1 to Castro. He singled and scored in the first inning. He's the subject of our University of Kansas hospital injury report. Had that little tweaked oblique, which kept him out of the lineup last night. He has not been bothered by the bright lights of New York and playing for the Yankees so far in his first year. He's hitting .362 at Yankee Stadium. Snap throw to first. Gardner is back in time.
Yankees are running a little bit more this year. Their offense has been down, so Girardi's turning them loose. And we talked to Ned yesterday before the game about that, and he says, look, when you have Salvador Perez, you don't worry about it. You let him control the running game. Medlin, he has a quick move to first base. Good, quick feet. Good athlete. Feels his position well.
Try to get him with a fastball up, 1-2. Yankees got Castro from the Cubs in a deal for pitcher Adam Warren. Two balls, 2 strikes. You mentioned 26 years old and 6th year in the big leagues. Got to the big leagues in 2010 with the Cubs. In 2011, he led the National League with 207 hits and was an all-star.
And with Addison Russell doing so well there, he was playing second base a little bit there when Castro was playing short, and they moved Russell over and got Zobrist, so they're all set in the middle. The Cubs are.
Three balls and 2 strikes. And waiting on deck is Brian McCann.
And so, you know, he was ahead 0-2, and then he went to nibbling a little bit, trying to get him to swing out of the strike zone. And a hot hitter like this, 3-2, he's going to get something close, and most likely he'll be swinging.
Gardner runs, and that pitch is way outside. So Gardner was down in the count. He walked. Castro was down in the count 0-2 at one point, and he walks. And this has been a problem so far for Medlin. Coming into this year, he was a strike machine. About 2.2 walks per 9 innings in his career leading up to 2016, and then coming into tonight, almost 7 walks per 9 innings.
Mechanical issues, no question about it, Dave. I like the fact he's coming out early here. 2 walks in a row, and they're not messing around. I'm sure Dave said something like that to him. Probably says, hey, look, come on now, look, this is going to get you out of the game quickly here.
The Yankees have had 7 base runners so far. They got 3 hits and a run in the first inning. 2 hits, 2 walks and a run in this inning. And now very low to Brian McCann. He hit a bloop single into center field in the first inning.
You know, you mentioned how McCann caught him over there in Atlanta. We got a chance to talk to McCann before the game, and I said, hey, it's a little bit different when you're having to hit the guy than catch him. And he said, yeah, I know he's got 3 pitches, but I have no idea what I'm going to do with him. He got a base hit his first time up on a hanging curve. He dropped it out there in front of Lorenzo Cain in center.
Yankees have a run in this inning, but after a double play, there were 2 outs and nobody on, and now Gardner and Castro have walked. We've said this 100 times, but it's consistent. A pitcher will say, oh yeah, McCann has an advantage against me. He knows what I throw. The hitter will say, no advantage at all. It's completely different catching a guy and trying to hit a guy. And so the debate rages on. Ahead of a hitter again, 1-2.
Yeah, I like that. Now go after him, finish him off. Ooh, good pitch. Salvi liked it. Yeah, that's where he wants it. I like the fastball. The fastball set that up right there. He snuck that fastball in on McCann. Watch this previous pitch. Okay, that's not in the middle. It had a little life to it. And there was the second pitch.
In and out of Salvi's glove. Seems like a tough break when that happens, but there is no skill involved in catching a foul tip. There's no such thing as a catcher that is good at catching foul tips. It either sticks in the glove or it doesn't stick in the glove. Three balls, 2 strikes. So Medlin was 1-2 against Gardner. He walked. He was 0-2 with Castro. He walked. And then 1-2 with McCann. And the count is 3 balls, 2 strikes, and the runners will be going. Jammed him. So he made a good pitch on 3-2. Escobar goes out and makes a play. So a high stress inning for Medlin. He gives up just the 1 run, and the Yankees strand 2. So at the end of 2, we are tied at 2. Gave the Royals a 2-1 lead with a home run in the second inning. And then Didi Gregorius doubling, scoring on a base hit from Chase Headley to tie it in the bottom of the second. Second time through for the Royals. Escobar swung at the first pitch from Tanaka in the first inning and grounded a base hit into right field, and he's not very thrilled with that call by Angel Hernandez. And now it's 0-2.
And Esky didn't like that one either, and I don't blame him. Like that ball ran off the plate in. Split finger coming.
Poke to right field. Late break, and Castro bails out Gamble. Gamble started back and was stuck in his tracks. And Castro goes out from second base to make the play.
He stayed with a slider. Running catch there by Castro. And you know, for Castro to have an oblique and only miss one game, that must have been just a little bit of a cramp or something. Because if you have an oblique, those are dangerous. He wouldn't be able to, you would see it on a play like that where he had to be extended with his glove and swinging the bat.
Down and away to Lorenzo Cain. Tanaka got him swinging with the slider in the first inning.
Sliders away to righties.
That's well hit to right field. Short distance. Gone. Opposite field home run. Lorenzo Cain. And for the first time this year, a team has scored more than 2 earned runs against Tanaka, and the Royals do it in the first 3 innings.
Great approach. Lorenzo knows the scouting report. He's going to try to stay away. He just went ahead and barreled him. Waited to click long. Beautiful swing for his 3rd home run of the year. McCann right where he wanted it, but Lorenzo Cain was waiting. Good swing. That's all it really takes to get a home run here to right field. And that, Dave Holtzman says, is Lorenzo Cain's first opposite field homer in his career.
Really?
Wow.
That does not count a home run that he hit in San Antonio during spring training this year.
Spring doesn't count.
No, but it was an opposite field home run.
Okay.
He probably hit it about 220 feet. You could throw the ball over the right field fence from home plate. So this was legit.
Proud of his catch, but he quickly gave the ball back again.
1-2 on Hosmer. He lined out to Gregorius at short in the first inning. Gregorius made a diving play. Outside 2-2. So even his outs lately have been hard hit. In the driver's seat presented by Kia, Eric Hosmer has now hit safely in 26 of his last 27 games. He has homered in his last 2 games leading into tonight. And a good low fastball to strike him out, and that's Tanaka's second. So let me ask you this: you go to the office tomorrow, and your buddies say, "Hey, you went to the Yankee game last night. How was it?" "It was great. I caught a home run ball." "Really? Well, let's see it." "Well, I threw it back on the field."
Oh, so much for that. Are you sure you caught one?
Yeah, exactly. That is a fair ball. Ackley comes down the line and steps on first in front of Kendrys Morales, who is 0 for 2. Royals take the lead again. They've hit 2 home runs against Masahiro Tanaka in the first 3 innings. Right field, the Royals have hit 2 home runs against Tanaka, who allowed 2 home runs in his first 40 innings this year. So I guess there's a little evidence. Let's get a picture of the ball and then throw it on the field. You know, that thing could be in a little display case on your bookshelf, and your friends come over and family members. Hey, what's that baseball in there? I caught a home run ball at Yankee Stadium. Really? Yeah, and he can go back and find the video of it. He could use his MLB.TV app, free plug.
I like it.
Say, look here's the catch that I made. And now Lorenzo Cain needs to make a catch. That is off the wall. And Beltran's going to try for 3. Nope, he slams on the brakes. He would have made it. The throw was offline. Cain did not read that at all. He was coasting as if he thought that ball wasn't hit as hard as it actually was, or maybe he didn't see it after Beltran made contact.
Yeah, a little bit surprised because Lorenzo Cain, he usually makes these plays here. Just ran out of room. He looked and he knew exactly where the wall was, and the ball, you're right, I think you got a misread on it. I don't think he thought it was hit as far as it was.
So right away, after the Royals regain the lead, the Yankees have a runner at second base and nobody out. And the Yankees have 6 hits and 8 base runners in 2+ innings. Ackley drove in the Yankees' first run with a sac fly in the first inning. Breaking ball is inside, so Brian Flynn is warming up again, and Chris Medlin may have been 1 batter away from coming out in the second inning, but he got McCann to pop out to Escobar. Flynn was warmed up and ready to go.
I believe you're right.
Over the inside for a strike, 1-1. One and two.
It's a nice little breaker there.
So here's an example tonight of something that doesn't seem to make sense. When a pitcher or a manager will say after the game, he had good stuff, but the results weren't very good. He's got sharp break to his breaking ball, and his fastball has some late break to it. But he's not throwing his breaking ball for a strike as much as he would like, and a few of his fastballs have flattened out. But it's not like everything he's throwing up there is straight and has no movement.
Well, listening to Chris Young's comments after his start last night, velocity's good, but there's no life. There's no life on my fastball. I got it's hard. So he had a hard time explaining why he's been getting hit around. So if he has a hard time explaining it, how are we going to? We saw everything was elevated, everything was there, but I think the hitters are catching up on it.
And stuff is only referring to velocity and movement. It is not referring to control or command. So that's why it sounds a bit confusing when the manager will say, well, he had good stuff, even though he got knocked around the ballpark. A walk. And Ned Yost heads to the steps, and that's going to be it.
Not messing around tonight.
So another very short outing for a starting pitcher, 2+ innings. But after 9 base runners, Ned Yost realized that tonight was not Chris Medlin's night. So a Chevy call to the bullpen in the 3rd inning. Brian Flynn comes on with 2 on and nobody out. Dylan G had to come on in the 3rd inning. So a tough patch for Royals starters. This was before tonight. The Royals over this stretch, and this underlines the importance of good starting pitching. The Royals have lost 10 of the last 13 games. Only 2 quality starts over that stretch, and now the bullpen takes over in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Brian Flynn, in a similar role on Friday against the Indians, came out of the bullpen, gave up 2 runs in 4 innings in his Royals debut, and threw 54 pitches.
All right, Flynn to win.
Aaron Hicks bats right-handed. The ball's in 1 strike. Right now, the Royals 1 out of 3 starts this year. A starter has gone fewer than 5 innings.
Flynn, good fastball. It's got some good movement on it. He's got a big slider, change up to righties.
This will be a little bit of a test for him. We mentioned this when he came into the game on Friday. He has been mostly a starter in his professional career. Grounded foul. When I say mostly, I'm talking about almost exclusively a starter. So getting used to pitching out of the bullpen, and now for the first time in his career he deals with inherited runners.
He's good and loose. He was warming up last inning too, so he's good and hot and ready to go. Hopefully he's going to be able to execute his pitches.
That'll put runners at second and third and nobody out. That was a 1-2 pitch. So let's welcome in Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. And well, every season has a stretch like this, and so far the Royals have been able to cover a lot of short outings by the starters.
Yeah, and I think the most frustrating part is it seems like this team's playing from behind almost every night, and the way that the starting pitching has been early in games, and it's very difficult to do. But you're right, they've been able to cover it a number of times, but you can only go that far, so long.
Tap foul, still 3-2 on Hicks. Right before you got here, Monty, we were talking about Chris Medlin and how it looked like his pitches had good bite to him. His fastball had good run, his breaking ball had good bite to it, but as we were saying, when you talk about a pitcher's stuff, that has nothing to do with control.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when you look at the elements of pitching, velocity's one, you've got command, and then you've got movement. And I think if you're able to have two of the three going at any time, they're all important, but I think the location and the command is the most important of all. We've seen some good stuff from Chris Medlin over the course of this stretch, but at times it just seems like it's difficult for him to get in positions where he can finish guys off.
And now a walk, and Hicks was down 1 ball 2 strikes. So they're loaded up with nobody out, and this is 1/2 inning after Lorenzo Cain homered to right field to give the Royals a 3-2 lead. D. Gregorius led off the bottom of the 2nd inning with a double to right field and scored on a base hit by Headley. Good fastball at 94 right by him. 0-1.
There you go. That big imposing body Flynn has. I mean, he can use that fastball, Monty, and work everything off of that.
Well, that's really any pitcher, regardless of your velocity. You have to establish a fastball, the ability to throw the fastball for strikes and then let the other pitches go to work.
Oh, he made a good pitch down, and Gregorius somehow got out and flicked it, and now the ball gets by Cain, and all 3 runs will score. He had Gregorius off balance and reaching. One-handed swing.
How about that? Just trying to lay it out there, and that's exactly what he did. Hicks, a lot of speed at first base. He just kept coming and coming hard, and the throw to Escobar coming in as Cain missed it. It short hopped him, and Escobar couldn't find the handle to throw him out.
They just called that a double and 3 RBIs. That will be changed. I mean, if Lorenzo Cain fields that ball cleanly, there is no way that Aaron Hicks, I don't care how fast he is, he's going to come around to score. He only scored when Cain misplayed the ball, and third base coach Joe Espada then started waving him home.
over pursued it. Ball hopped once and twice, and then overplayed it.
There's a difference between a bad hop and, as you put it, Hud, over pursuing a ball.
Yep.
3 balls and 1 strike on Headley. At least for now, give Gregorius another double and 3 RBIs. Full count. Chase Headley's, sorry Hud, RBI single in the 2nd inning was just his 3rd RBI all year. He is still without an extra base hit.
Lonnie, walks are really killing the starting staff of the Royals.
Well, and you can sense that the opposing hitters here, the Yankees in this ballpark, have found a way to take advantage of mistakes. But when you're struggling with your command, hitters are going to zero in. When you throw a pitch, you're not going to get away with very many mistakes.
How is Dave Ireland going to correct that?
Well, the best thing you can do is just find a way to make it work, especially between starts or between relief appearances in the bullpen. When you get out in the game and you have to be thinking every pitch you throw, it's very difficult to execute.
It's like a hitter, same thing. He's going to go out and work behind the scenes underneath in the cages and work on something, and then when the game comes, you just go ahead and react the best you can.
Absolutely.
Strike 2, Gamble, and Flynn jumps ahead 0-2. Infante charges, and Gamble is out, 2 down, and Gregorius goes to 3rd. And now Flynn will get another left-hand batter, and Brett Gardner. Gardner popped a short in the 1st inning and then walked in the 2nd.
Guys, one thing I was talking with Dave Island about today was the pitchers, and sometimes you're in the game, and we saw it with Chris Young last night, possibly tonight with Chris Medlin, is you're pressing. You know that you got to turn things around. You know you got to get going, and sometimes you try to overdo it. You try to overthrow the baseball. It's very important as a pitcher to be nice and free and easy on the mound. And Hud, I'm sure it's the same as a hitter. You try to squeeze it, the bat out of your hands. It's very difficult to execute, and I think that's one thing that I've seen a lot of lately. Guys just trying so hard to get it back on track
instead of just letting it happen.
1-1 to Gardner. Two walks in this inning, and both came around to score.
Gardner has no intention of pulling it at all. He's just trying to sit there and see it, and especially breaking balls away. He knows how lefties throw him. He's just trying to slap it out there to left field.
And he does go the other way. Escobar throws him out to end the inning. The Yankees loaded the bases with nobody out. All 3 score. And at the end of 3, New York leads 5-3. by 2. And here's our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Tigers are really struggling. They've lost 7 straight, 14 of their last 21. Minnesota is trying to get something going. They've lost 5 in a row. They are 8-23. So Joe Mauer is going to lead off for the first time. And Steven Strasburg. He was going to hit the free agent market at the end of this year. He was going to be the premier pitcher on the free agent market, but the Nationals signed him yesterday to a 7-year extension.
Good for him. You know, when they float that kind of money around, there's no guarantee that if you turn that down and you go home in the off season and something happens, you have a freak injury and you can't perform, you just turn down the lottery. So, you know, some guy's going to take it.
1-2 on Alex. And as he pointed out in his press conference, that he's just very comfortable with where he is. So maybe he gets a few more bucks as a free agent, but you go to a brand new situation, brand new expectations, brand new teammates, brand new city.
Yeah, a lot can happen. But you know, he looked great. I was happy to see him pitch. I never had a chance to see him in person. Was that the Medlin game where we gave up the runs early? Yeah. But he just cruised. He's got great stuff.
Well, he also got the largest contract ever for a pitcher coming off of Tommy John surgery.
Which had belonged to Jordan Zimmerman, I think.
Yep.
Alex strikes out. That is the 3rd for Tanaka. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the Kansas City metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack.
Lonnie, Tanaka's not overpowering, but the report I got on him is he picks up his velocity as he goes on in the game.
I had a chance to speak with David Cohn about him a little bit earlier today, and Cohn basically told me that he pitches away from his fastball a lot. Doesn't like his fastball nearly as much as a lot of pitchers do, especially with his kind of stuff, but loves that splitter.
0-2 on Salvi.
And then they'll be tough now with the lead. Royals got to do all they can to scrap and claw to get back, because then back into that bullpen. It's similar to the Royals.
There's the former Royal and Kansas City boy, David Cohn. Broken bat. Getting a chance to bring it up last night. Home plate umpire of last night's game was Ted Barrett. He's at third base tonight. And Ted Barrett was behind the plate here in New York in 1999 when David Cohn threw a perfect game against the Montreal Expos. Remember them? And I asked Coney, I said, you remember anything about Ted Barrett on that particular day? Salvi is down on strikes. He said, no, I remember he called a good game because I don't think I made eye contact with him once the entire game.
Ted Barrett, one of the real good guys in the game.
He really is. Two down to Infante. Omar flight out to left field in the second inning. On the ground to Headley. So right after his team gives him a 5-3 lead, Tanaka comes back and gets the Royals in order. Bottom of the 4th, Yankees lead 5-3. Do the Right Thing, Godfather. What else? Who else has a Danny Aiello movie? Ghostbusters. He was in Ghostbusters? The Last Don. Anyway, here at the game tonight. Starlin Castro has been on twice. He has singled, walked, and scored a run. Brian Flynn, this is his first clean inning. He came on in relief of Chris Medlin in the third with 2 on and nobody out. And then he walked Aaron Hicks. Didi Gregorius was given a 3-run double. We thought maybe it was a base hit and an error, but the official score called it a double and 3 RBIs. So 4 runs are charged to Medlin. Medlin gives up 4 runs, 6 hits with 3 walks, and 1 run is charged to Brian Flynn. Off of his knuckles. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now we think of Brian Flynn as a reliever. He almost made the Royals last season as a reliever and now pitching out of the bullpen. But the Royals had been stretching him out in the minor leagues before he was called up. And in his professional career with the Tigers and the Marlins before coming over to the Royals, almost every appearance he made in the minor leagues and in the big leagues was as a starter, as in 99 professional appearances before coming to the Royals and 97 as a starter.
He's got that big starter's body. I like the way that he has the ability to throw a lot of pitches.
Right to Infante. Our sprint trivia question for tonight. Salvador Perez is one of 4 catchers in history to have 3 All-Star selections and 3 Gold Gloves before turning 26. Name the other 3. Yadier Molina.
How about Pudge?
Okay. Oh yeah, Pudge Rodriguez.
He was playing as a 19-year-old.
For sure.
You guys like Yadier Molina?
Yeah.
No?
I don't know, but before 26, how about that guy right there? Tony Pena.
One and 2 on McCann.
I know my favorite catcher growing up came into big leagues pretty early, Johnny Bench.
All right.
We've got him covered already. Huh?
Yeah, but we're going to have to take one off the list. Yadier Molina, Ivan Rodriguez, Tony Pena, Johnny Bench. What about Brian McCann? Brian McCann had a bunch of All-Star selections.
With 3 Gold Gloves. Yachty has that covered.
I don't think he's a Gold Glove catcher. Strikeout number 2 for Flynn. Ball 1 to Beltran. He has singled, doubled, and scored a run. That was after hitting 2 home runs last night. Two 2-0. The Yankees are hardly the Bronx Bombers this year. They are 11th in the league in home runs, but they hit 5 last night. They had a total of 5 in their previous 11 games. Our Kubota power stats for the night. Dave Holtzman, our stats producer, is referring to them as the Bronx Burners because they've been much more of a running team than they've been a slugging team. They are 11th in the league in home runs, but 4th in the league in stolen bases. Well hit into center field. Kane at the track makes the play. So Flynn gives up a couple of hard hit balls, but has a 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th inning.
News today as super prospect Raul Mondesi Jr. suspended 50 games. He's at AA right now for violating the substance abuse policy.
Case where a young man had a cold and he went in and got an over-the-counter drug medicine. It wasn't like he was, taking in performance-enhancing drugs. It was a surprise. It was a surprise to him. It was a surprise to everybody. But it just shows you that, you can't take anything nowadays over the counter or anything without, consulting the training staff first.
So Raul Mondesi Jr., who had been hitting very well and certainly in the Royals' future plan still is, suspended. And guys, Dayton Moore in a statement today saying that this is an unfortunate incident that we believe to be an innocent mistake, but these are the consequences that players face when they do not adhere to the policies that have been collectively bargained. And so, we've seen this different types of suspensions come up so much, and so it's tough to always know what's going on. But let's just say that it was an innocent mistake. What all these players are taught over and over again is don't go get anything, even something as simple as cold medicine. All of us can go to the drugstore and get cold medicine or whatever we might need, but these guys have to check with the trainers to make sure there isn't something in there. The suspension was reduced from 80 to 50 games, and reports are he would be eligible for the playoffs.
Base hit left field for Cheslor Cuthbert. Yeah, that's one part of those suspensions that's sometimes lost in the fine print, is even the minimum suspension, which is 80 games, unless you're in a situation like Mondesi, that you're eliminated from postseason. So last year, Urban Santana, remember, was suspended for 80 games, and it happened early in the season, so he came back. But had Minnesota made it to the postseason, he was not going to be eligible. And now Dyson with Cuthbert on. A little bit outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
I think the tricky part for fans, Ryan, is just the fact that we've heard so many excuses, and I didn't know what was going on from so many players. I think the positive that might help at least make the Mondesi case more believable is that suspension did get reduced, is the fact that he would be eligible for the postseason. I still think bottom line, it's on the player, and then they've got enough support around them to make sure this doesn't happen. But maybe a positive here for that young man who has such a bright future, that it was reduced to 50 games.
I can't think of another one offhand. I'm sure there is one, but I can't think of another PED suspension that we've had where it has been reduced. Dyson thought that pitch was low and talks it over with Angel Hernandez. 2 balls and 1 strike. Gerard grounded out to second base in the second inning.
Time to start finding some holes. Get some runners on and get some magic going with hitting with runners in scoring position. Get back in this game. He's down in the zone for the most part.
3-1.
And really still at this stage in the game, you're only down 2 runs. Find a way to get a run or 2 across here. You don't want to let Tanaka get too settled in.
Base hit left field for Dyson. So the Royals have 2 on, nobody out. Top of the order coming up.
Very good on waiting for that pitch and just slapping it. That's exactly what you want here. The ball's moving away from him. Very controlled swing. He lifts up his foot, sets it down. Good head position there, and he just good level swing. That's the Dyson they're hoping they see a lot. Using the opposite field. They like to throw him high fastballs, so he pops the ball up or hits it in the air. And he's really been working on staying on top of it. Great swing there.
Escobar single to right his first time up and nearly blooped one into right field in the 3rd inning, but the second baseman Castro ran out to get it. Yankees think he's going to bunt, and he gets it down. Tanaka throws in time, but with the bunt, Cuthbert goes to 3rd. Dyson moves up to 2nd. So 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. And now Lorenzo Cain to the plate. He turned in our Jeep drive of the game back in the 3rd.
How about that? Took that pitch on the outer half of the plate there, Monty, and barreled it.
Got to like it when you do it in Yankee Stadium. Got a chance for a big fly.
Yeah, he got one about 4 rows deep. So Escobar, you know, helping this inning along here. Moved him up. 2nd sacrificed bunt of the season for him. Lorenzo Cain, that's why you bat 3rd. Clean him up.
Blasted left center field. 2 home run game. A bomb for Lorenzo Cain off the back of the Royals bullpen. A 3-run home run, and the Royals have regained the lead.
That's exactly why you hit 3rd in a big league order. Get 2 on, get them over, and get them in, including yourself. Monty, that was loud.
When that ball left the bat, it was gone.
Oh,
It
yeah.
traveled a long way, but it was so loud.
Oh, and you know, Gardner, the center fielder, and Hicks, those guys out there, they just took 2 steps and said, "Oh, wow, that ball's not coming back." That a beauty. What a lift. And Tanaka is getting pounded.
And that's hard hit by Hosmer. Ackley goes to the bag. Second hard hit out for Hosmer tonight. 2 down.
And Hud, this is what we call a 3-run Jimmy John.
Never
a down.
No, it was a beauty. Nice lead back. Had that nice little arc in his back whenever he hits one and gets a hold of one.
And by the way, that's 399 just to get to the wall. And Lorenzo cleared the Royals bullpen and hit it off a signage board.
Royals, they refuse to say, "Hey, we're not giving in. We're coming back on you."
And remember, Tanaka in his first 6 starts this year had not allowed more than 2 earned runs in any of those 6 starts, and the Royals have 6 runs in 5 innings. 1-1 on Morales. He is 0 for 2, and Tanaka had allowed 2 home runs in his first 6 starts, and the Royals have hit 3. The Royals score another run against Tanaka. That'll be the most he's ever allowed as a big leaguer.
You can only cruise for so long in this game here, Monty. The highest level in baseball. I mean, you're going to get it every so often. And I didn't think that the Royals could score 6 off of him personally, but they're doing it.
Well, the fact he had taken shutouts into the 7th inning of his last 2 starts, I knew it was going to be a challenge. But like I said earlier in this inning, you don't want to let a guy like him get settled in. He really never has hit stride tonight, but if you get him a lead and you let him get settled in, then it's tough to really get to him later. Nice to see him get these runs.
Yeah, and then you get back to the back end of their bullpen.
But, you know, this now feels like one of those games we're accustomed to winning. We saw this happen so many times last year. Didn't matter who's on the mound, they found a way to come back.
A 2-home run game for Lorenzo Cain, the 3rd time in his career.
Pass out some earplugs. That was loud.
Royals baseball is brought to you by your local Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Visit for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be with 24 Kansas City metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. Lorenzo Cain with a 2-home run game. The Royals have hit 3 home runs. So they've hit 5 in the first 2 games of this series. Lorenzo Cain with home runs 3 and 4 this year. And now Danny Duffy is on for the bottom of the 5th inning. So the Royals' second Chevy call to the bullpen in the first 5 innings.
Danny Duffy, first couple pitches just missing here. Like that fastball, HUD. Upper 90s fastball now for Duffy coming in, just attacking the strikes with that fastball.
Go ahead and attack. He's got a nice little rolling slider, slurvy pitch, but works effectively. And the changeup's something. If he's going to pitch for very many innings, he's going to have to use it against the righties.
I like the way Danny Duffy simplified his approach. He's working off the fastball, not trying to do too much. He will mix in those off pitches when he needs to, but I like the attack mode he's been in.
2-2 on Dustin Ackley. So the Royals are hoping that Duffy can get through this inning and the 6th and hand it off to Soria, Herrera, and Davis. Remember those guys?
Oh, yeah, right.
Right by him at 97. Remember, Royals fans, it's time to vote for your All-Stars. You can vote up to 35 times for your Royals online, including a maximum of 5 ballots cast in any 24-hour period. Vote at Royals.com. You can vote on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. There's a 3-time All-Star, also the subject of our trivia question tonight. 4 catchers in history with 3 Gold Gloves and 3 All-Star appearances before the age of 26. We've gotten a little help from the truck tonight. Of the 3 that we have to come up with, one of them is Salvador Perez. So there's 3 others: Ivan Rodriguez and Johnny Bench. So no Yadier Molina, no Tony Pena.
I got a feeling it's back way before our time.
What are we talking about, like black and white films time?
Not way before.
It is not Yogi Berra. And the Yankees, and really all of baseball, mourning the loss of Yogi Berra. His number 8 is retired, and all the Yankees are wearing his number 8 on their left shirt sleeve.
How about Roy Campanella?
I already threw that one out there.
Darn it.
Great call. Base hit right field for Hicks. He's on with 1 out. The Yankees' number 8 has been retired twice, and both by very good catchers, Yogi Berra and Bill Dickey. There they are, side by side.
Yeager.
Steve Yeager.
That's right.
Holtzy, I asked him, are we talking black and white films here? And he kind of gave me the so-so. So he was part of the black and white era and maybe the beginning of the color era. Down to second. Got him.
Wow. Eric Hosmer's amazing. That ball, most first basemen, when they know the runner's going, they're going to get jittery over there, and the lefty fires it in the dirt. Hosmer quickly adjusts and transfers it from glove to hand and threw a rocket to Escobar.
And I think he threw a rocket that Esky didn't even see it.
Or did he not even realize he caught the ball? Because it looked like he was looking for the ball, like it was going to roll away from him.
Well, I saw him pointing to his eyes like he didn't see the ball, and I think he maybe had trouble picking it up. The umpire was right there as well.
How about Haas is used to catching Escobar's hard throws, and that one was a tough one. From Hosmer to catch it and apply the tag. Well done. Hosmer immediately steps in the line, so he has a good clean throwing path to throw the guy out. Hicks.
Two and one, man. By you. 97 miles an hour.
Low cheese, low cheddar.
Danny said the other day he hasn't felt the ball come out of his hand this well for a long time.
Three and one on Gregorius, who has 2 doubles tonight. He has the Yankees' biggest hit, a 3-run double in the 3rd inning. In the 2nd inning, he doubled and scored. No chance. 3 and 2.
One thing I've noticed about Danny is a couple years ago you may have seen Danny out there kind of really laboring, a lot of emotions. He's just much more composed and relaxed on the mound now.
Should be easy for Infante. So Duffy out of the Royals bullpen faces 3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. 6-5 Royals to the 6th. He's impressive. So was the guy sitting next to him, Brian Flynn. Time for a Lee Summit Mazda game break. Hanley Ramirez, some 468 feet, and an 11-0 lead for the Red Sox over the A's. Red Sox are in a first-place tie in the East with Baltimore. Oakland, meanwhile, is in 3rd place in the West. Alex Gordon leads off the 6th inning against Masahiro Tanaka. And Alex in the air to left center field. That ball carries. And Hicks makes the play for the first out.
And
let's
Ryan,
go to Joel.
Yeah, Ryan, just to add an interesting note, 2 former Royals, or at least one that was in the Royals system and part of a big trade. Sean Manaea, 2 innings, 10 hits, 2 2/3 innings, 10 hits and 8 runs against the Red Sox. He was in the Zobrist trade, and he has resurfaced. The great guy, Sean O'Sullivan, has thrown 5 shutout innings for the Boston Red Sox, which I think David Holtzman would tell us means there could be, if he wins, a Michael Jackson dance contest from the big boy in the clubhouse afterwards.
It was an upset when we saw him dance like Michael Jackson. He's not one that would make you think that he could dance like Michael Jackson, but he can. Gregorius makes a play on Salvador Perez, so 2 down in the 6th inning, and now Omar Infante. Carissa Hamilton from Richmond, Missouri is our contestant in the Sonic Slam inning. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Carissa wins $1,400. And if the Royals hit a grand slam, Carissa wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. Ball 1-2, Omar Infante. Big night for the Royals against Masahiro Tanaka.
It is. The fact that they dropped the 6th spot on him, a 3 spot in 1 inning on him was that home run is very, very timely. Carissa, I don't like your chances this inning. Infante hadn't homered since last September, and he's thinking about bunting.
That'd be a heck of a bunt.
Yep. Never seen that done. But Lorenzo Cain driving the Royals bus. They need that. They need a bus driver in the worst way this year. Step up and carry it. To left field and right to Gardner.
3 up, 3 down for the Royals in the 6th inning. The 6 in the Bronx, New York. Big night for Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo Cain and Yellowwood bringing the lumber.
And he has done that. Okay, first home run in a regular season game to the opposite field for Locaine. That was his 3rd home run of the season. And then the big one, right down the middle, and he leaned back, had a little bat flip down, and it was just touched right off of that side deep. Didn't really get the length on that one, did we, Rhino? How far that one was hit? But that was a bomb. Way to go. Way to bring the lumber.
Luke Hochevar comes into the game. And immediately faces Chase Headley, whom he's known since Little League in Colorado. They were also college teammates at the University of Tennessee. So Ned Yost is going to try and piece together Duffy, Hochevar, Soria, Herrera, and Davis with a run lead. Chris Medlin went 2 innings. Brian Flynn picked him up by going 2 innings. Duffy pitched the 5th, and now Hochevar in the 6th.
So, Monty, we have Flynn and the pin to win.
Sounds like a good mix.
Let's do it. Come on. Stay with it. Show the strength of the team.
Three balls and 1 strike. Chase Headley began his college career in Northern California. He wanted to transfer and talked to his buddy from Colorado since Little League. So Luke Hochevar went to the coaches at the University of Tennessee and said, I've got someone that you should take a look at. Chase Headley. And thanks to Luke Hochevar, the coaches did when they were teammates in Knoxville.
So you're saying Luke's got a career as a scout after baseball,
does.
huh?
Wonder if he got a finder's fee.
Still 3-2.
Hochevar, that good cut fastball, nice overhand curve, 4-seamer he'll use.
There's the cutter that he will use. And he begins his outing with a strikeout. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery. There's a breaking ball strike to Ben Gamel with producer Joe Vencius, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro. 0-2 from Hochevar to Ben Gamel, who has grounded out twice, once into a double play.
Back-to-back hooks for strike. Let's see if he'll try to cut it away here.
Right idea.
Give it a shot. When you're able to throw that first pitch curveball over for a strike, maybe like a get me over curveball, so many guys will give up on that pitch. Gives you a chance to get ahead of the batter very quickly.
And then lots of times they'll double up with it. They throw it for strike one, they're going to try it again, same pitch, and it works.
I always like to throw the get me over pitch, first pitch, and then use the put me away one later when you get 2 strikes. Then you want to finish out of the strike zone. You don't want to show your good put me away pitch on the first pitch of the at bat.
Still 1-2.
That high fastball might have earned him another hook. Good setup pitch.
There is the hook, and it's pulled past Tony Pena. By the way, we have a winner in the trivia question.
You got him again?
Yep.
Like it.
Hochevar. So he got him with that breaking ball out of the strike zone. Perez down to Hosmer. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hochevar. Okay, Salvador Perez, one of 4 catchers in history to have 3 All-Star selections and 3 Gold Gloves before turning 26. We all chipped in. Hud went with. Did you go with Ivan Rodriguez or no? Or is that Monty? Did Monty have
slipped
Monty
in.
had Ivan Rodriguez and Johnny Bench. Bill Freehan. How about that?
Tigers.
Former baseball coach at the University of Michigan. By the way, Holtzy, Bill Freehan was not a black and white film guy.
I think Holtzy meant when he was a kid growing up.
Maybe that's what it was. When I think of black and white films, I'm thinking about, with some, some scratches on the film, and the guys are, running twice their normal speed. Babe Ruth hitting a home run and getting around the bases in 7 seconds. I'm talking about those kind of black and white films. Got the call with a high slider. 1-2 on Gardner. Salvi cuts him off. Roadblock. Gardner has nowhere to go. Luke Hochevar strikes out Headley, Gamble, and Gardner in the bottom of the 6th.
Some a Mazda game break. Salvador Perez, this time ambushed by Lorenzo Cain on his birthday.
1, 2, 3, let's go, Bono. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Salvador Perez Hermanito. Happy birthday to Papa, you made my birthday,
And there you have it, the shorter version. There were a lot of hugs, a lot of I love yous, and maybe the best part of that video, along with Lorenzo Cain finally being able to get a little bit of revenge and turn the tables on Salvi, was the fact that he had a chorus in the background. You couldn't fully hear it or see it, but it was Omar Infante, Kendrys Morales, and Alcides Escobar singing along the Spanish version. So you had everybody singing at once, and for anyone that's ever been in the Royals clubhouse, you would know Lorenzo Cain will sing anything, anytime of the day from any generation. And by the way, guys, Lorenzo Cain homered twice here on Salvi's birthday, and Salvi homered April 13th on Lorenzo's birthday.
Wow. So it was meant to be. Another good swing for Cheslor Cuthbert, who's hit a 2-run home run, single to left, and just hit a rocket to Hicks in center field. Thank you, Joel. Joel's birthday, by the way, was this past Thursday. He and Sam Abramson on the same day turned 44. How about that? Same guys, same crew, exact same day, not date, day, May 5th, 1972.
And the Royals were very nice to schedule an off day for them.
How about it? Dyson on the ground to Castro. Dyson is 1 for 3. He has a run scored tonight. And they're 2 down in the 7th inning. Our first of 5 special bobbleheads coming up on Saturday against the Braves. A Ned Yost bobblehead to the first 20,000 fans coming through the gates, presented by Commerce Bank. All the bobbleheads commemorate the 2015 World Series championship run and showcase special moments from the postseason.
Seen that pose 1,000 times.
So you say, how is Ned sitting in the dugout, relaxed with his legs crossed, symbolize a special moment from the postseason last year? Maybe just his calm, relaxed presence in the dugout.
Cruise control.
Yep. One and one on Escobar. He is 1 for 2 for the sacrifice bunt. Joaquim Soria gets ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. He'll get Castro, McCann, and Beltran. Two balls and 1 strike. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. You know, Tanaka's given up 6 runs, which ties his career high, but look at his pitch count. The Royals have really been on the attack against him. 77 pitches in 6 2/3 innings. So he hasn't had many deep counts at all. Look at that. Wow. He hasn't got more than 17 pitches in 1 inning.
He's an 11-pitch inning.
Yeah, you know what? He's a smart pitcher. This guy, he's a veteran. He executes. He's got 4 pitches he uses, maybe 5 he'll turn into. You know, that split finger, we haven't seen a lot of those tonight. Monty, didn't seem like, at least it doesn't have any drastic dip to it. But everything pretty much down. But you know, the few times he's been up, the Royals haven't missed it.
I think he's thrown more fastballs tonight than normal for him, and maybe that's the reason he doesn't throw it. He's given up 3 bombs.
Yeah.
Back to Tanaka. And that is the top of the 7th inning. Stretch time in New York. Royals have a 6-5 lead. Is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. Looking from where old Yankees Stadium was to new Yankee Stadium, 6-5 Royals. Bottom of the 7th inning, and now Panera takes us around the league. Detroit desperate for a win. They have lost 7 straight and leading at Washington. The Texas Rangers in a delay at home against the White Sox. White Sox have won 4 straight. They're 23-10. Minnesota and Baltimore, they were postponed last night. Joe Mauer leads off for the first time in his career. Minnesota leads 1-0, and Cleveland is at Houston with a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cleveland is in 2nd place at the moment, 1 game above 500, but 6 games back of the Chicago White Sox. Joakim Soria is the 5th Royals pitcher. It'll be a group effort tonight. Chris Medlin went 2. Brian Flynn 2, Duffy 1, Hochevar 1, and now Soria on for the 7th. And Joakim Soria keeps chipping away at that ERA. It's down to 4.11, and that includes scoreless outings in each of his last 6 appearances.
Yeah, and you go back to May 1st to the last time he pitched in a game when the Royals were leading in a save situation. So this is a real test for Joakim Soria here tonight.
The Royals can hang on tonight. You can give Dylan G a lot of credit. A lot of credit for those 4 or 5 innings he threw last night.
Absolutely. 5 1/3, 1 run. Really nice job.
Yeah, we were discussing that last night, that it's not a thankless job in the Royals clubhouse. They know what he's done, but maybe outside it can be a thankless job because. And he's going to make the start in Chris Young's place. But yeah, sometimes the effects of what he's done occurs the night after or 2 days after, and here are the effects right now. A perfectly rested Duffy, Hochevar, Soria, Herrera, Davis.
Yeah, and that's what he was telling me before yesterday's game. He's talking about how prideful he is to be able to do that for the bullpen, and he'll be doing the same thing as the starter. He'll want to go deep. And again, to save the bullpen. Soria's really got to mix those pitches here, man. They're at the top of the lineup when the meet's coming up. He's got to be able to use all 4 of his pitches in all 4 quadrants.
This will be a great test for him, and I'm sure that when you come into a 1-run game, it's going to bring out the best. So I think these situations he's going to be better in. But for a guy like Soria, any relief guy gives up runs early in the season. It takes a while to really kind of chip away and get those numbers back in order.
And the approach for Soria to get him back in order is just to keep throwing him out there. Not something that they're trying to fix in the bullpen. This is his 17th appearance, which leads the Royals. And typically your reliever that's struggling the most isn't the guy who's going to get the most appearances.
Well, they have a lot of confidence in him.
He had Castro out in front of a slow curveball. Andrew Miller gets ready for the top of the 8th inning, although with Tanaka's pitch count, he could go back out there. Right where Salvador Perez wanted it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Yankees scored 6 runs last night. 5 of the 6 in the first 3 innings. Tonight they've scored 5 runs, all in the first 3 innings. And they've been outscored by a very wide margin as Soria speeds up his delivery, and that got Castro off guard, and Fonte throws him out. But that's a trend for the Yankees this year. From the 5th inning on, they've been outscored by 22 runs. So they've done most of their scoring in the early innings, just as they've done in the first 2 with the Royals. And now some left-hand batters coming up. And you always keep in mind that short porch in right field in a 1-run game. Curveball dips low to Brian McCann.
Soria's not going to give you the same pitch 2 or 3 times. I mean, he mixes all of them. You can't tell what's coming.
That's one reason he's been very successful as a result of having those 4 pitches that he can throw in any situation.
Good location. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a very key pitch for Joakim Soria. The ability to throw that fastball on the inside part of the plate. It sets up everything else away for him. Now he can go soft away. He can come back inside again if he needs to.
So he goes away. 2-1. Slice to left. And down in front of Alex, but McCann will hold with a single. So the Yankees have the tying run on with 1 out. In celebration of the Negro Leagues, join us this Sunday against the Braves as the first 10,000 fans through the gates receive a Kansas City Monarchs fedora, modeled here by Gerard Dyson. That's courtesy of KSHB. So make sure you come out to Kauffman Stadium wearing your Sunday best to honor the tradition of attending Negro League games, as it is Dress to the Nines Day, what has become a fun tradition at Kauffman Stadium every year. Get your tickets at royals.com/NLBM.
I have to break out my fedora Sunday. I'm going to be filling in for HUD on Sunday. So,
way to go, Monty.
So maybe I'll have to break out the fedora.
All right.
Break it out.
I'll wear mine.
Let's do it.
It's graduation weekend for a lot of people.
Kate and Alyssa.
How about it? Yeah, and Monty, you have one of yours graduating too.
Friday, yep.
Friday.
Called the balk.
Wow. Are they going to say he didn't come set again? It was called by the second base umpire, Will Little. And Soria is going to go right to him. He's got to be careful. There's no arguing a balk.
He's got to stop, and he's been called, what, twice now?
This might be the third time he's been called.
Yeah. And, you know, instead of him getting upset and angry right now, he's got to continue to keep his focus now with that tie and run in scoring position.
Yeah, there's no
definitive stop. A change of direction technically is supposed to be considered a stop, but I can see why that's on the edge. I can see why that's a borderline call. Tough time to call it, though.
That's the most balks called on any pitcher this year in the major leagues. 1-2 on Beltran.
I think the part that hurts him most there is he had Beltran swung at the pitch and missed it. So second chance for Beltran.
Former teammate of yours. There aren't many of those guys around.
No, you're right.
Two and two. In fact, is he the last one from the '99 Royals?
Yeah, probably is. But I'll tell you, it did not take long to know that he was going to be a special type player.
That'll be out of play.
Have to be careful with any of that soft stuff to keep that stuff down.
In this ballpark, you're right. I think one thing that's tough for Joakim Soria is he uses that deception, that quick pitch, so to speak, a lot of times, and I think sometimes it just becomes almost like a natural instinct to throw that and not be thinking about stopping on the pitch.
2 down. McCann holds at second base.
That's a good play. You know, it looks routine and easy, but sometimes in that situation, a pitcher will rush it. When you go barehanded, you stab and you don't pick it up the first time, and that causes more trouble. But he's making sure he watched it all the way.
Soria's ERA after giving up a run on April the 25th was 7. And now hoping for his 7th consecutive scoreless outing and get that ERA under 4. Dustin Ackley with McCann at second, 2 down. A little bit outside, ball 1. Ackley's driven in a run and he has scored a run. 2 at-bats in his career against Soria. One ball, 1 strike. Got it in on him just enough.
It's a good quick swing he put on him. He had a rip. Ackley getting his 12th start in his career at first base.
Base hit to the outfield is not an automatic run with McCann at second base. Unless it's hit very softly. Alex going to go all the way to the plate, and it's high. Soria wasn't backing up. And the Yankees have tied it in the bottom of the 7th. So the balk turns into a run.
Yeah, if he hits it clean, there's no way they're going to even send him home. But look at that, it's a little jam shot. That ball, it had a parachute on it. He just pulled out. Alex, he gave it all, a little bit too much. If he puts that ball on the plate there, he might have got it.
Yeah, I think they would have had a chance if the ball was down just a little bit.
Ackley goes to second on the throw home. Curveball for a strike to Hicks.
Guys, let's go back and take another look at the balk on Joakim Soria, which is obviously going to be a very critical call in this game. Sure is a tough one right there. Tough one to call.
Especially when he had him struck out.
1-1 on Hicks. One ball, two strikes. Joakim Soria, before this year, had 2 balks in his entire career. So that's the frustrating part for him. And for Ian Kennedy, who hasn't been called for a balk, but suddenly the umpires are having issues with the way he comes set or gets ready to come set. Up the left field line, and the Yankees are going to take the lead. Aaron Hicks gets Dustin Ackley to the plate, and New York leads 7-6.
Inner half, he just pulled his hands in and tried to guide it out there, and he did. If he tries to pull it, they're out of the inning. But he kept his hands inside and fought it off.
Low to Gregorius. He had a 3-run double in the 3rd inning. He has 2 doubles tonight, and he has scored a run. Two and 0. Aaron Hicks was hitting .128 when this series began. He homered, drove in a couple of runs last night, and he's driven in a run tonight. Shallow center, Kane comes up to make the play and puts an end to a 2-run 7th inning for the Yankees. A balk, 3 hits, and 2 runs for New York. Yankees by 1 to the top of the 8th inning. Remember to get your copy of the updated version of Dayton Moore's book, More Than a Season, with 2 new chapters. 100% of the book supports Dayton's charity, See You in the Major Leagues. It's available at the Majestic Teen Store. Also, Dayton has been nominated for the Sports Impact of the Year Award for the K-Love Fan Awards occurring next month in Nashville. So why don't you help Dayton bring home the award by going to KLoveFanAwards.com and voting today. Voting is open now until May 31st.
Yeah. How about it? Sports Impact Man of the Year.
Andrew Miller, 12 games. He has pitched 11 2/3 scoreless with 20 strikeouts and 1 walk. Throws a strike to Lorenzo Cain. The Royals will have Cain, Hosmer, and Morales. If anybody gets on, Alex Gordon. And Lorenzo Cain has had a huge night already. Fastball is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lorenzo has his 3rd career 2 home run game. He is driven in 4.
Miller, 6'7", 210. He's got a perfect pitcher's body, tall and long, and he's left-handed, throws 95 to 97. Slider, curve, and a change. There's a lot of arms and legs coming at you. Wicked arm angle.
Well hit. Right center field. Deep. Gone. 3 home runs for Lorenzo Cain. And Andrew Miller allows his first run of the year. The first 3 home run game in Lorenzo Cain's career.
Wow. That was a legitimate bomb there. 385. And yes, please throw it back. All aboard as Lorenzo Cain is driving.
Slider strike to Eric Hosmer.
It sounded good, but I wasn't sure in that part of the ballpark, but he kept his hands inside, and now he's gone opposite field again. What a swing. Let's listen to this one. Oh, man. What a stroke. He is hot.
Lorenzo Cain had never homered over the wall to the opposite field in his entire career until tonight, and he has 2.
What a swing. That's perfect. Now the ones you pull, you know, you're on those. Those are a little bit easier. You're out in front. You get a fastball, you can drive them. But to go to the opposite field. Just in the nick of time. Ooh, look at the head position. Head position's right down on it. Nice stroke. I mean to tell you. It's in the middle. Didn't try to pull it. That's perfect. How to quiet the Yankee fans down here.
The Royals have hit 4 home runs against 2 pitchers tonight who would allow a combined 2 home runs in 51 innings. Tanaka and Miller had combined to give up 2 home runs in 51 innings, and the Royals have hit 4 against those 2.
And Lorenzo, he's piling up some homers for his buddy Salvador's birthday.
Got him on the foot. So here we are, 7-7, 8th inning. Bullpen against bullpen. Miller and Chapman against Herrera and Davis.
There's a little backdoor curve for you, except Morales didn't like it off his big toe. That's a great pitch to righties. You gotta swing over the top of it.
Former teammates with the Mariners there, Ackley and Morales. And that brings up Alex Gordon.
The break he gets on his curveball from sidearm is almost impossible for a lefty to hit it. I mean, it's just filthy. Look at this. He starts that windup and his release point's behind the left-handed hitter's back and then breaks about 4 feet. I mean, not 2 or 3. It's a big one. He was pitching to Big Papi when Culpa called him out on a strike, man. And that curveball, the curveball, though, it started a foot inside and ended up a foot outside.
2-1. Now look at this. 5 out of 12 with a home run.
Well, obviously Miller not throwing him anything straight. He's hooking every pitch. He's throwing that breaker.
I'm sure many of those numbers were back when Miller was a starter. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Tough to lay off of that. Good discipline here. Alex is going good, you can tell.
If Alex can get on here, the go-ahead run goes into scoring position, and then right-hand batters start coming up again. Perez, Infante, and Cuthbert. 3-2.
There's a rare fastball to him. Now he'll probably break it away again.
Slider down. Just showed you how tough that pitch is. Alex and Hosmer basically had the same swing on that pitch. Pitches that were down and away. And now the birthday boy, Salvador Perez. 0 for 3 so far tonight. He jumps on a slider and pulls it over to the Royals dugout.
All Salvi wanted for his birthday was a Royals win. And now he has a chance to help his team. Outfield's playing extremely deep. Playing no doubles. There's a shot to right field he took there.
Whoa.
That's the one Salvi wants. Along the inner half, he can just be quick enough to barrel it.
Oh, okay.
That's off. That would have broke his
guy in the gray hoodie in the first row didn't think so. That's a base hit up the left field line. Gardner will get to it in time to keep Morales at second base. So Salvador Perez moves the go-ahead run into scoring position, and now Paulo Orlando is going to come out and run for Morales. And now Omar Infante. 0 for 3 so far tonight.
Just love how the Royals are bouncing back. That's the one right there.
Down 0-2. Yankees led 1-0. Royals led 2-1. Royals led 3-2. Yankees led 5-3. Royals led 6-5. Yankees led 7-6. The Royals have tied it in the 8th inning on the 3rd home run of the game by Lorenzo Cain. And now Infante is trying to drive in Orlando. Slider is down. So Miller ends up striking out the side, but Lorenzo Cain leads off the 8th. 3 home runs in his last 3 at-bats. He has driven in 5. Lorenzo Cain turns in the 9th 3-home run game in Royals history. He has homered in 3 straight at-bats, and the last time a Royal did that, not just 3 home runs in a game, but in 3 consecutive at-bats, was Bo Jackson here in New York at Old Yankee Stadium in 1990. A game many Royals fans will remember as the Bo Dion game. The 2 multi-sport players during the baseball season matched up for the first time, and Bo Jackson hit 3 home runs against Deion Sanders and the Yankees. Kelvin Herrera. He'll get Chase Headley, Ben Gamble, and Brett Gardner in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Aroldis Chapman, who finished off the game last night, warms up in the Yankee bullpen.
Herrera's been awesome, no doubt. There's his changeup. Changeup at 89, 90. Fastball at 98, 99, sometimes 100. And he's mixing in a lot of those sliders this year. It's made him extremely effective. 3-pitch guy. One of the best. Hasn't given up a run yet. Stay at it. attack the hitters with that fastball. It's a beauty.
Two and two. Herrera is the 6th Royals pitcher tonight. The Yankees have used 2 pitchers. Chris Medlin went 2. He allowed 4 runs, 6 hits. Brian Flynn went 2. He allowed 1 run. Danny Duffy 1 inning. Luke Hochevar 1 inning. Joaquim Soria 1 inning. He allowed 2. And the Yankees led 7-6 until Kane tied it in the top of the 8th, and now Herrera in the 8th. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ground to Infante. One down in the bottom of the 8th. MLB.Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD at home, in the office, or on the go. Get real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch-by-pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. It's 14 2/3 scoreless innings for Kelvin Herrera this year.
Ben Gamel getting his big start here as a rookie.
Escobar fumbles. Gamel is on with 1 out.
See how he let it play him. He didn't move his feet. He wasn't moving into that one. He kind of sat back and waited on it to come to him. And lots of times when you do that, your rhythm's off. Your feet and your hands. That's unfortunate. 6th error on the year.
And you get to a point in the game like we are now in the bottom of the 8th inning. You've had a lot of base runners. You've had a lot of infielders stirring up the dirt. So there's going to be little divots, little spike marks all over the dirt. And all it takes, one little bad hop. The ball went up his glove some. Brett Gardner is 0 for 3 with a walk. Going back to last year, and pitchers who have the longest active scoreless streaks, the Royals have 2 of the top 3 individual streaks. Hoping that it doesn't end right here. Kane gonna have to hurry up and get it back in. Gamel reaches with an error. He scores from first base on a double by Brett Gardner. And the Yankees have regained the lead. So Andrew Miller allows his first run of the year in the top of the 8th inning. And now Kelvin Herrera allows his first run in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, the error didn't help. And that's a short, quick swing. That's exactly what you want to do on a hard thrower. And Gardner, he placed it perfectly. Gamel, he read it all the way. Nice little turn, cut the corner. It's got decent speed.
Slider for a strike to Starlin Castro. 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. So Herrera, going back to last year, he had gone 15 in a third innings without allowing a run. That was the second longest active streak behind Sean Kelly of the Nationals. And now Wade Davis has the second longest streak at 15 in the third innings. Foul tip, 1-2. Miles an hour and very high. 2-2. Gardner to third, and it's fouled away by Castro.
Got a good jump. It's a good thing he fouled it off.
1-0 Yankees, 2-1 Royals, 2-2 tie, 3-2 Royals, 5-3 Yankees, 6-5 Royals, 7-6 Yankees, 7-7 tie. Yankees with a run in the bottom of the 8th, and they lead 8-7. And that hit him. Easy to say this up here in the booth, but it sounded like it just barely hit him. I think it just glanced off of him and deflected all the way back into the screen.
It's a good thing too, because that ball thrown that hard, does bad things to the flesh and bones, man. It looked like it caught him on his left wrist underneath it, but fortunately not squarely. Let's see. Maybe his right forearm. I don't know. This ball's traveling at a high rate of speed.
The louder sound may have been the ball hitting Salvi's glove.
Ooh, it looked like it hit his shoulder.
Yeah, it went by his wrist and got him on the shoulder.
Wow.
Now Salvador Perez goes out to chat with Herrera, and then Salvi called in Cuthbert to pass along the information to him in the event that the Yankees try and run again. Cuthbert, it would be a long run for him, and now the Royals are adjusting him to get closer to third base. But that was almost inviting a stolen base where he was before that pitch was thrown. He was positioned basically in between second and third base, and with Gardner, the runner at second, that's a tough play.
Yeah, Gardner could beat him there any day, but he can't. He altered. Jerchley brought him in and over.
He did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian McCann has 2 hits and a run scored tonight. Two balls, 1 strike. Herrera has labored in this inning. He's thrown 20 pitches. High and deep, right center field, off the wall. Gardner scores. Castro is right behind him, and the Yankees have 3 in the bottom of the 8th.
Yep, McCann got him a fastball, and he started his swing before he even let go of the ball. You see that? He was gearing up for it, and that ball was up, and you got to give him some credit for staying on top of that like that and not popping that ball up. You don't see many hitters do that to Herrera with that velocity.
So it's a 3-run bottom of the 8th inning. And now as the pitches pile up on Herrera, Chin-Ming Wong begins to warm up. After Wong, the Royals have only avoided Wade Davis. They have used Danny Duffy, Brian Flynn, Luke Hochevar, Joakim Soria, Kelvin Herrera. That is the second out. McCann goes to third. Royals baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. Ready for a great deal on a new Ford? Then it's time to go to Thoroughbred Ford. And now Dustin Ackley. Ackley's had a good night. 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. He drove in the first of 2 runs. And the Yankees 2-run 7th against Soria. Denny has quoted Louis Tiant many times, and the quote is, about baseball, you don't know nothing. And it figured that the hardest part of tonight's game was going to be to get a lead and get the game with the lead to the back end of the bullpen. And the Royals accomplished that tonight. But it hasn't been Soria's night, and it hasn't been Herrera's night, as the Yankees have scored 5 runs off of those 2 guys. 2 off of Soria in the 7th, and now 3 against Herrera in the 8th. One of the runs is unearned because of the error by Escobar. Got Salvi. He tells Angel Hernandez that he's fine.
Caught that one right on the chin.
Two and 2 on Ackley. The Yankees, by the way, are 6 for 14 with a runner in scoring position. And I bring that up because before the game started, they had the worst batting average in the major leagues with runners in scoring positions. You think the Royals have had their problems. The Yankees have been a lot worse. But tonight, they have scored 10 runs on 13 hits, and Aroldis Chapman, who came back after his suspension last night, has a chance for his first save. as they come up in the 9th inning. And as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Cheslor Cuthbert, he came up big. Tanaka tried a fastball on him right down the middle. He caught it just perfectly. Second career home run. That was a nice stroke.
Well, last night he faced Chapman and struck out. I told a story earlier tonight. I asked Cheslor what it was like to see 101 miles an hour, and he had a big smile and said, man, it was fast. And then the serious look on his face and said, I'd like to face him again, though. Well, there he is the very next night.
Yep, and we talked about that bat. I talked with him, and his swings were long, way too strong and powerful. And Paulo Orlando and I were talking to him, and we said, you know, the key to hitting a guy like that is a short, quick, compact swing.
And maybe see a pitch, too.
Yeah, right. That long swing, they blow it by you. You just got to run it, just try to play pepper with it. It's like Gardner did on Herrera. And like Paulo did last night against Chapman. On a slider down off the ground. He just reacted short, quick, and the ball just shot. Let the velocity of the fastball provide the power.
A little better?
Yeah, it's more controlled.
Chapman last night gave up a run. He struck out Infante and then Cuthbert, and then Paulo Orlando doubled. Came around to score on a base hit by Escobar. Shattered bat, and Ackley goes to the bag unassisted to get Cuthbert. Few toothpicks came off of Cuthbert's bat, and now Chapman will get Christian Colon batting for Gerard Dyson.
Well, I imagine Chapman in his career has splintered a lot of bats. That fastball, slider change, a little bit of a slider. It's not a big breaker.
One and one. We were talking about Paulo Orlando last night. Pinch hitting is tough enough as it is to be sitting on the bench, and then you're called on in the 9th inning, having not had an at bat all night, and then you're facing Aroldis Chapman. And Paulo Orlando had to do that last night and doubled, jumping on a hanging slider. And we were joking when he came up that I wonder what he thought when Ned said, "Hey, Paulo, grab a bat."
Right. Well, it wasn't exactly a hanger. Watch where this was. That ball was down. I mean, it was beautiful. He just dropped the head of that bat on it and short path to the ball, quick hands, and let the power of that fastball from Chapman shoot that ball out there with a nice, easy, short swing. Not easy, but you pretty much know what's coming when you're facing him. So every hitter is going to want that challenge. It's not easy. Toughest job in baseball is to pinch hit, come off cold, and especially against their closer. For the most part, guys all throw mid to upper 90s. And in this case, Chapman can throw 100. Colon's first pinch hit opportunity this year.
Ball at 100, and Colon was upset that he fouled it away. 100, back with the same pitch. And now 2 down. Aroldis Chapman, the fastest pitcher to 500 strikeouts in Major League history as far as innings go. He did it in fewer than 300 innings, 292, passing Craig Kimbrell, who is now closing for the Boston Red Sox. Kimbrell had done it just a few years earlier, and he did it in 305 innings. Alcides Escobar is 1 for 3 tonight with a sacrifice bunt. He reached with an infield single and picked up an RBI against Chapman last night. There's Lorenzo Cain, who has 3 home runs tonight. 2 balls and no strikes. Looks like Cain's going to get another at bat.
That would be special, just to see it. Having the opportunity.
So Lorenzo Cain, who has homered in each of his last 3 at bats, comes up against Chapman.
3rd inning, first career opposite field homer, 4 rows deep. 5th inning, got all of this one. I mean, he barreled that one. That baby was tattered and battered and not walking. 8th inning, goes opposite field off Miller. First run Miller's given up all season. Great swing there. He stayed inside of that nicely, and now he has a chance to hit his 4th. How about that? Now that's asking a lot.
Our Cricket Wireless something to smile about. And we'll be smiling even bigger if he can do it again. Escobar moves up 90 feet. No stolen base. Strike 1 to Cain. Lorenzo ended the game last night by grounding back to Chapman. Oh, 0-2. Away.
Hey, you know, he's got a shot to right field. If he can just speed up that bat a tad. 314 down the right field line here.
Get Escobar to 3rd. After careful consideration, the official scorer has called that a wild pitch.
Yeah.
Perez, all he wanted for his birthday tonight was a win. Two balls, 2 strikes. First fastball at 101. Another part of that story, we told you that Lorenzo's the first Royal since Bo Jackson in 1990 to hit home runs in 3 straight at-bats. In that Bo Jackson-Deion Sanders game, Bo separated his shoulder. He went on the disabled list, and when he came back he homered in his first at-bat against Randy Johnson. And that's still the longest home run at Kauffman Stadium.
Wow.
So 3 straight at-bats with home runs here in New York on the disabled list. And then in his first at-bat, he has to face Randy Johnson.
Yeah. In his first
takes him
at-bat.
deep.
That's crazy. All right, right idea. Lorenzo Cain's working a swing to right field. Facing guys that throw that hard, you know, that high fastball, that's the one. That's where they like to put it, because at that velocity, you can't barrel it. I mean, it's tough to.
Popped up. And the Yankees have taken the first 2 games of the series. Frustrating loss for the Royals. A big night on offense. The Royals hit 4 home runs, 3 from Lorenzo Cain. They come up with 7 runs, 9 hits altogether against Masahiro Tanaka and Andrew Miller, but in the end, it's a loss. 10-3 New York. We'll be right back.